Yeah, hard fought game. Obviously disappointed in the result. We competed a whole lot better tonight, certainly, than we did last time we played them. And, I'm hoping that maybe we get another chance to play them, but give them credit for making the plays down the stretch that great teams make, and they're certainly a great team. So hopefully we learn from this and improve and, still have some basketball ahead of us.
Question?
Coach, it was no secret the first game you guys played this year, rebounding was a bit of a struggle for the Flashes. Was that a really big point of emphasis coming into tonight?
Well, we did a poor job in the second half defensive rebounding. That, I think, was the difference in the game. They had 17 offensive rebounds in the game, and in the second half, I thought that was the difference in the game. Well, this is every game's different. We're not going to score 100 points again, maybe in 20 years. So, this is a really good defensive team. Second half, they did a really good job. Probably some things we needed to do better, but give them credit for how well they guarded and how well they played.
Hey, Rob, what's your main takeaway from this?
Well, the first time we played them, we were non-competitive in the game, and I was certainly disappointed in that. And you leave that first game wondering if you even are in the same category or same class as them. Tonight we competed. We're much better today than we were in January. So we competed a whole lot better, and gave ourselves a chance to win. They're an elite team, and they're have dominated the league because of how well they're able to win close games, make plays that you need to make, and give them credit. They had guys step up and make those winning plays. If we're fortunate enough to play them again, there's some things we're going to have to do a little bit better in order to come out on the other side of this, but. Proud of our guys for competing, and certainly for how far we've come from the first time we played them to now. Because again, the first time we played them, you leave that game. Certainly, I believed in our guys. Don't get me wrong, but you as anyone would leave that game, you'd say, boy, I don't even know if they're in the same category. So. Tonight, we have grown a tremendous amount since that point. And at least, I leave here saying, okay, if we can do some things better, maybe we have a chance if we're fortunate enough to play them again. But give them all the credit in the world. They made the plays you need to make to win these games.
From game 1 to game 2, what were the biggest signs of growth that you noticed?
From our team?
Yeah.
Just across the board, guys competing, playing for each other. Just the development of a team. Like, in January, we were not playing well. We weren't able to score. I was struggling with who to play, when to play them. Our guys were struggling with their role definition and what to do and what was expected. And from A to Z, almost everything on our team has changed. If you watch us play now, our guys are playing with confidence, with togetherness. We're just a different team in terms of how we look. We've grown. We're still not quite where we need to be if we want to beat Akron, and they're the best team in the league. They've been all year, all league season. Maybe they weren't in the non-conference, but they figured it out. Much sooner than we did, and we still got a little bit of ways to go if we want to have a chance, if we are fortunate enough to play them again. But again, give them credit. Tonight was a great game. You hate to lose because we led for a lot of the game, but give them credit. They made in the second half, they really offensive rebounded. And, I'm sure they defended. You look at the stats, I know they defended better. We turned it over a little bit too much. We got more stagnant. But a lot of that had to do with our inability to get stops. We were playing in the half court much more in the second half.
Does this, last question for Coach.
No, that's okay. They can ask away. I got nothing else to do. This is way past my bedtime. Right now I'm up. I'm not going to sleep. So whatever you need, go fire away.
So does this give you some things to work on / build on with the tournament in mind?
Yeah, I mean, in our league, this is a one-bid league, and again, everyone is trying to build towards, next 2 weeks from now, right? You're trying to build towards that. So, had we won tonight, it would have it wouldn't give us a better chance to beat them if we played them in 2 weeks from now. And having lost tonight, I don't, it's not like it's going to give us a better chance to win the game, but we leave here with a confidence level like, okay, if we play them, we have confidence that we could, if we play well, compete in that game. If you had asked me that after we played them at home, I couldn't answer that, and not honestly the way I can answer that honestly today. But there's still, I hope that we're not in position to play them on Thursday. We're going to have to beat somebody, my thought would be, or maybe two somebodies to play them on Saturday or Friday. And it's far from a given. I think sometimes, and same for them. I think sometimes the thought of, well, you're just going to play them, in Cleveland, like for both teams. I think sometimes those things are just so taken for granted in this area that it's like you guys have no idea just how hard this is when you get up there. First of all, to get there, let me start with that. It is really hard to get there. A third of our conference doesn't get to Cleveland. So what Akron's done, winning the regular season this year, the record they have, unbelievable. What we've done, I don't know how many straight years we've been up there, but it's not easy to do. You got a lot of teams in this league that don't get there. So those are great accomplishments. And then, playing whether it's Friday or Saturday. There's a lot of teams that want to win these. They want to win when they're up there. So none of that's a given. And you got to play well your first day, Thursday, and hope that, I hope we don't play them on Thursday and hope that we get an opportunity to play them again. And if we do play them on Thursday, then I do think this game will give us confidence that if we do play them on Thursday, well, we have the ability to compete with them. It's a long answer.
Yeah, as far as when you look at the box score, you led for 29 minutes.
Yeah.
Aside from that, who are the guys that have improved the most during this stretch?
Well, there's a number of them. I could go across the board, but Jamal Sumlin's improved tremendously. Marquise Barnett has improved tremendously. Delrico Gillespie has improved tremendously. I'd go with those three guys on the court have improved tremendously. And then Jalen's leadership in practice and his play, although tonight his play was not as good. He scored the ball, but his play was not as good as it has been all year. And again, you're going to look at, he had 19 points, so he did a good job there. But his defense and his turnovers were not as good as he has played all year. But forget about his play. His leadership has been at a completely different level than it was last year. So, and Vaughn has always been steady as can be. Sion has been steady as can be. Mike is steady as can be. So these are the guys. Claron is steady as can be. So if you were to say what's the difference, I would give you the guys that I gave you in terms of their play on the court.
Any more questions for Coach?
Coach, speaking of leadership, Later on down the stretch, obviously that crowd was getting really rowdy, but it sort of seemed like the way that the team carried themselves is, you know, they didn't really let it get to them. And in a crowd that loud, I feel like a lot of the times you will see the players get rattled by that.
Yeah.
So can you speak on the leadership and keeping those guys calm?
Yeah, you know, it's hard for me to say that because we lost the lead late, and, you know, I'm sure, I don't know if the crowd had something to do with it, but the crowd energized Akron for sure, their players, and, you know, you do feed off of a crowd like that, and their guys stepped up, and give them credit. Their guys stepped up. You know, they're good play. I mean, they have a lot of good players, but Nate Johnson made some big plays down the stretch. Tavari Johnson made some big baskets down the stretch. You know, across the board, they have good players and good team. Lyles, I think, made a couple big plays down the stretch. I'd have to look at the stat sheet. All I remember is they got a number of offensive rebounds back to back and a couple layups. And they have a good team, and they made some big plays to win the game. And you know, I don't know that the crowd impacted us as much as it energized their team, and they stepped up and made some big baskets. You know, they had a lot of points off turnovers. We turned it over a little bit too much down the stretch too.
Any more questions? Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.